Okay, this is a fly taken from Hatch Guide for New England Streams, written by Tom Ames Jr. This is a great fly. I've caught a lot of fish on this fly. I've used it for years. It's a consistent producer. The tail material on this is supposed to be hare's ear, but I'm going to show you a substitute material. A lot of people don't have a hare's ear laying around, and if they don't, they can use mottled hen. So I've started my thread on this hook, wrapped back to about the midpoint. I'm just going to cut that tag off. And here's some uh, hare's ear face fur, or the hare's mask. Guard hairs would be the proper term for that. And you see the change of color out here at the tip, and they're darker down towards the base. Uh, Take these and you would set them on the hook like this, just kind of catch that thread and let it snap down and trap that. If you wrapped all the way to the back, there's what you'd have for a tail. Very suitable, maybe a little bushier than it should be, but we're taking it off anyway. But this is a substitute. This is what you can use if you'd like. It's just a mottled hen feather. I just stroke these fibers down. You see how soft they are, how they just stand out and stay down when I stroke them down. I'll get some of these tips out here and just grab a hold of these and pull them right off. Roll them over and put them so that the tips are pointing to the rear. And there you go. Not a bad substitute. If you don't have a hare's mask, certainly a mottled hen feather or any soft hackled mottled feather will do as a decent substitute. Now set these on. I'll use the pinch to get them into place. And that's a little short, so I'll give them a little tug here. Unwrap a wrap so I can slide it. There we go. Okay, now I can just wrap to the rear. I'm holding these fibers on top of the hook as I wrap back, and I'll check the length. That's maybe a little long, but we'll let it go. Now wrap back up here and get ready to put the ribbing material in. I'm going to put that ribbing material on the bottom of the hook. So I'm going to use this small oval gold tinsel. And roll this up, get the head in position the way I want it. And I'll start this on the side of the hook, and then the thread will pull it up around onto the top. See how that tight wrap just grabbed it and pulled it up to the top? Now just slide it in and keep it on the top, which is, well, actually the bottom of the hook. And I want to keep it right on the bottom the whole way back to the end point. And that's fine. And with that attached, I'll wrap back up so that we can do some dubbing here. So this is hare's mask dubbing, or hare's ear dubbing. You don't need a whole lot of this stuff at any one time. And I keep that in my right hand, and I'll dub with my left hand. It doesn't take long to learn how to spin this on with your left hand, and keeping the extra dubbing in your right hand, you have it right handy. You can always add more that way, and you've got it right there if you need it, instead of looking for it because you set it down on the desk and can't find it. Now, this is a fairly robust bodied fly, so with this dubbing spun on here, I'm going to wrap all the way to the back and then wrap back to this point, as opposed to having, I could have started in the rear and just wrapped one layer forward, but I want it fairly bulky, and this is a good way to get the bulk. So wrap back, get all the way to the back, and just turn right around and head right back to the front. Okay, when you get up there, you just make a few wraps to make sure it's everything's secure. And I'll show you the partridge hackle we're going to use for our soft hackle up in the front and how to prep it. You don't need a very big feather. You certainly don't need all this fluff down to the bottom, so we'll get rid of all of that. And I'll hold the tip of this and stroke these fibers back a little bit. And you can see here in a second, I'll show you this tip that I'm separating out. And this is what we're going to tie this feather in by. So I've got all those fibers stroked back, and I've got this tip, and I'll just cut that off and freeze this. There you go, you can see that tip. And that's what I'm going to tie in right there. So with that feather prepared, I'm going to make a bunch of extra wraps here and then counter wrap our rib forward. Those extra wraps I made will unwrap. I start by pulling this oval tinsel right in underneath this tail. I like to do that to make that tail kick up. Now you could have started it right here where I am now. Instead of going underneath, you could have started the first wrap up onto the body, or you can if you want to, but I like to kick that tail up like that so that it moves more when I'm swinging this fly through the water, and I do usually fish this fly on the swing. So I'll capture that ribbing material, cut that off. And we'll get ready for that feather that we prepped earlier. That tail down a little bit. Here's that feather, you can see the tip. Stroke those fibers to the rear so that I can expose that tip again and tie it in. Now when I bring this thread up, see when I go to wrap, see how it sticks out over the eye? I want it to curl to the rear or the bend of the hook so that I can capture this tip easily. So I spin this bobbin tube clockwise, and that'll put a curl in this thread. See, now it comes up, it goes right to the rear and grabs that nicely. Yeah, it's just what we want right there. A few wraps to secure that. Rotate this around so that I can reach the stem easily with my hackle pliers. Grab a hold of that, and we'll fold and wrap this hackle. See, I'm pulling it to the rear, folding it back, and start wrapping. Those fibers are sticking right towards the rear of the hook the way I want them to. And I need to do a little more stroking here to get them going to the rear. And that's about it. That's all you want is 1.5, 2 wraps at the most. Bring that thread up behind the quill, go over the top of it, down through, make a lock and wrap, go behind it once more, over the top, come down in front of it, and that's in and secure. I can go ahead and cut that quill right off. Now I haven't cut that quill off, we'll just rotate this fly down and stroke those fibers to the rear. Get them back the way we want them, and place a few thread wraps, come right up against it, go right up on them just a little bit, as much as you need to, but you don't usually have to go up against them very hard. See, I roll those back. Those are just about the right length. They reach just about to the bend. That's what I want. And here's some dubbing for me to put on and finish the head out with. And this is again hare's ear. Slide that up a little bit. We don't need very much. All we have to do is finish this head section. Wrap up, come up against those fibers, and then right back towards the eye. It's just about it. This fly is just about complete. If I don't break my thread here. There we go. Whip finish knot. Cut that off. Put that tail down a little bit there. And there you have it. There's a soft hackled hare's ear tied using rotary fly tying techniques.